walked down the deserted street, the faint glow of streetlights casting eerie shadows on the pavement. The date with Matthew had been an unusual one, to say the least. We had connected on Tinder, and his profile had mentioned his psychic abilities. Intrigued by the mysterious and the unknown, I agreed to meet him for dinner. Little did I know that this decision would lead me down a path of unimaginable horror. As the night progressed, Matthew's psychic abilities became more apparent. He could read my thoughts, predict my actions, and delve into the depths of my soul. It was both fascinating and unsettling. But beneath his charming facade, I sensed something darker, something sinister lurking just beneath the surface. Now, as I made my way home alone, a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The streets were empty, and a cold wind whispered through the air. My footsteps echoed loudly in the silence, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Suddenly, I heard a rustling sound from behind. My heart skipped a beat as I turned, only to come face to face with Matthew. His eyes gleamed with a disturbing mix of madness and malicious intent. My breath caught in my throat as I realized the true nature of the man I had trusted. "Surprised to see me, my dear," he hissed, his voice laced with venom. "Did you really think you could escape my grasp so easily?" Fear gripped me, and I tried to back away, but Matthew moved swiftly, blocking my path. His presence was suffocating, his energy overwhelming. I felt like a trapped animal, my every instinct screaming at me to run, to fight for my life. "Please," I pleaded, my voice trembling. "What do you want from me?" A malevolent smile twisted Matthew's lips. "You have something I desire," he whispered, his voice dripping with menace. "You possess a power, a psychic ability that rivals my own. I need it to complete my own twisted desires." Confusion swirled in my mind. I had never considered myself to have any psychic abilities. Was Matthew mistaken, or was he simply delusional? Regardless, I knew I had to find a way to escape. But before I could react, Matthew lunged forward, his hands closing around my throat. Panic surged through my veins as he squeezed, cutting off my air supply. I clawed at his hands, fighting for each precious breath, but he was unnaturally strong, fueled by madness and desperation. As darkness closed in around me, I thought of my family, my friends, and the life I had been robbed of. It was a cruel twist of fate, a horrifying end to what had started as a simple date. Tears welled in my eyes, but I refused to let Matthew see my fear. In a final act of defiance, I mustered all the strength I had left and sank my teeth into his hand. He yelped in pain, releasing his grip for a moment. It was the opening I needed. I gasped for air, stumbling backward and desperately searching for an escape route. Adrenaline surged through my veins, propelling me forward, my survival instinct taking over. But Matthew recovered quickly, his face twisted with rage. He chased after me, his steps closing in as I sprinted through the empty streets. Fear fueled my legs, but I knew I couldn't outrun him forever. I needed help, salvation from this nightmare. As luck would have it, a flickering streetlight illuminated a nearby phone booth. I dashed inside, fumbling with trembling hands to dial emergency services. Each second felt like an eternity as I waited for someone to answer. Finally, a voice came through the line. 911, what's your emergency? I sobbed into the phone, struggling to explain the terrifying situation I found myself in. The operator assured me that help was on the way, urging me to stay in the phone booth until the police arrived. But fate had other plans. As I hung up the phone, the glass door of the booth shattered, and Matthew burst in, his face contorted with a mix of madness and triumph. I was trapped once again, his prey in a sick game of cat and mouse. His hands closed around my throat, squeezing the life out of me. I fought against his grip, my vision fading, but it was futile. As the world went black, I knew that my story would end here, in the clutches of a deranged killer. The police arrived too late to save me, their sirens wailing in the distance. They found Matthew, his eyes vacant, standing over my lifeless body. The realization of what he had done crashed upon him, and he was captured, his reign of terror coming to an end. The news of my tragic fate spread like wildfire, capturing the attention of the nation. People were horrified by the senseless violence, the loss of an innocent life. My family and friends mourned, their hearts shattered by the cruel fate that had befallen me. But my story didn't end there. In the wake of my death, a movement began. A call for justice, for an end to the violence that plagues our society. My name became a symbol, a reminder that we must remain vigilant, that we must stand together against the darkness that lurks in the hearts of others. As the years passed, my memory lived on, inspiring change and fostering a sense of unity. Though I had been taken too soon, my spirit continued to touch the lives of those left behind. And in the darkest corners of the night, where monsters still roamed, a whispered promise carried on the wind. A promise that no more innocent souls would fall victim to the insanity that had claimed my life.